Hyunwoo Kim sat in the big meeting room on Harmony Station. The room was huge and round, with seats for hundreds of different alien species. Lights hung from the ceiling like stars, and the walls showed moving pictures of space. He looked around, at all the strange beings sitting near him. Some looked like giant bugs, others like walking crystals, and some he could not even describe. Today was important. Today the Galactic Council would decide if humans could join their big group of planets. 3 years ago, humans had first met aliens. Now they wanted to be part of their club. But from what Hyunwoo could hear, things were not going well. "These humans are too weak," said a voice that sounded like breaking glass. The voice came from Ambassador Veltar, a being made of blue crystals that grew from her body like a tree. Her whole body made music when she talked. They come from a world they say is just normal. Nothing special about it. They are not strong, not fast, not smart enough for us. Other aliens made sounds of agreement. Some clicked, some buzzed, some made noises Hyunwoo had never heard before. He kept his face calm, but inside he felt angry. These aliens did not know anything about humans or Earth. Commander Nixall stood up next. He looked like a giant ant that could walk on 2 legs. His body was covered in hard black shell-like skin. His eyes were huge and made of many small eyes put together. When he talked, his mouth parts moved in a way that made Hyunwoo feel sick. "Look at them," Commander Nixall said, pointing at the human table with one of his forearms. "They have no hard skin to protect them. They cannot see in the dark. They cannot hear very high sounds or very low sounds. They need special suits just to walk in space. What use are such weak creatures?" More aliens made agreeing sounds. A snake-like being, with purple skin, nodded its 3 heads. A creature that looked like a floating ball of light pulsed brighter. Even the small furry aliens that looked almost cute made squeaking sounds that Hyunwoo somehow knew meant they thought humans were pathetic. Hyunwoo looked at Jimin Park, who sat next to him. She was a security officer and knew a lot about alien life forms. Her hands were tight fists under the table. Her face was red with anger. But she could not speak unless someone asked her to. That was the rule in these meetings. "Their technology is old," continued Ambassador Veltar. "Everything they have, they learned from us. Their spaceships are copies of our designs. Their computers use our programs. They have nothing new to give us. And they are so few," added another alien that looked like a tree with eyes. "Only one world. Only a few billion of them. What can such a small group do for the great Galactic Federation?" The meeting went on for hours. Alien after alien stood up to say why humans were not good enough. They talked about human bodies being too soft. They talked about human minds being too slow. They talked about human culture being too simple. Every word made Hyunwoo more angry, but he had to stay quiet and polite. Finally, the big boss alien stood up. This one was very old and very large, with skin like rock and eyes like fire. "We have heard enough," it said in a voice like thunder. "The Federation will think more about letting humans join. This meeting is over for now." All the aliens started to leave. They talked to each other in their own languages as they walked past the human table. Hyunwoo could not understand their words, but their tone was clear. They thought humans were a joke. As the room became empty, Hyunwoo saw Dr. Yoonho walking down from the seats where people could watch the meeting. Dr. Yoonho was older than Hyunwoo, with gray hair and kind eyes. He studied planets and life, forms for work. He had been very quiet during the whole meeting, just watching and listening. "That went well," Jimin said in a bitter voice when Dr. Yoonho reached their table. "They have no idea," Dr. Yoonho said quietly, shaking his head. "They look at us and see soft skin, so they think we are weak. They see that we need tools to survive in space, so they think we are helpless." "Maybe we should tell them about Earth," Hyunwoo said. "About what it is really like there." Dr. Yoonho laughed, but it was not a happy laugh. "Would they believe us? Would they understand?" Jimin stood up and started walking around the empty room. "I studied their home planets," she said. "Do you know what the most dangerous animal on Veltar's world is? A small bug that eats crystal. And you know how they deal with it? They play music at it until it goes away. And Nixal's people? Hyunwoo asked. Their biggest problem is when different ant groups fight each other. But even then, they follow rules. They have meetings before they fight. They decide when to start and when to stop. It is all very organized and polite. Dr. Yunho nodded, slowly. That is the problem. Every species in the Federation comes from what we call garden worlds. Nice, safe, easy places to live. They never had to deal with real danger. What do you mean? Hyunwoo asked. Think about it, Dr. Yunho said, sitting down in one of the alien chairs that was too big for him. When was the last time one of their planets had a big earthquake that killed millions? Or a volcano that changed the weather for years? Or a disease that spread across the whole world? Never, Jimin guessed. Exactly. Their worlds are stable, predictable, safe. The worst thing that happens to most of them is running out of food, and even then other planets help them out. Hyunwoo thought about Earth, about earthquakes and floods and storms, about diseases and wars and famines, about all the ways that life on Earth tried to kill humans every single day. So they think we are weak because our world does not try to kill us every day like theirs do not? No, Dr. Yunho said with a strange smile. They think we are weak because our world does try to kill us every day and somehow we are still here. The three humans sat in silence for a while. Around them, the meeting room was getting dark as the lights turned off automatically. Through the big windows, they could see space and stars and the other ships floating near the station. So what do we do? Jimin finally asked. We wait, Dr. Yunho said. And we hope that someday they will understand what it really means to come from a death world. Death world? Hyunwoo had heard the word before but was not sure what it meant. That is what some scientists call Earth, Dr. Yunho explained. A world where everything is trying to kill you, where the weather can change from beautiful to deadly in minutes, where the ground can open up and swallow cities, where tiny things too small to see can kill billions. And they think that makes us weak, Jimin said. They will learn, Dr. Yunho said quietly. Someday something will happen that their garden world experience cannot handle, and then they will understand why death world species are different. As they walked out of the empty meeting room, none of them knew how right Dr. Yunho was. None of them knew that very soon the aliens would see exactly what humans were really made of, and it would all start with a simple conversation about sharks. Commander Nixal walked through the metal halls of his hive ship. The ship was huge, with thousands of chambers connected by tunnels. Everything was perfectly organized, just like his people liked it. Each tunnel led to the right place. Each chamber had the right purpose. Each worker knew exactly what to do. He stopped at a big window and looked out at space. His compound eyes could see many different types of light, so space looked very colorful to him. But he was not looking at the beauty. He was thinking about the humans. Stupid creatures, he said to himself. How did they ever survive long enough to build spaceships? His second-in-command, a younger warrior named Kixar, came up beside him. Sir, what are your orders about the humans? Ignore them, Nixal said. They will not last long in space. Too weak, too soft. Give them a few years and they will give up and go back to their little planet. Kixar made a clicking sound that meant agreement. Their planet must be very safe if such weak creatures could become the top species. Nixal thought about his own home world. It was a good place, with steady weather and plenty of food. The only real danger came from other hive groups, but even that was not too bad. When hive groups fought, they followed rules. They would meet first and discuss the problem. They would agree on when to fight and when to stop. Sometimes they would even decide not to fight at all and just share the land instead. Our young warriors are stronger than their fully grown adults, Nixal said. I have seen the human soldiers. Small, slow, weak. They need machines to do everything for them. Meanwhile, far away on the crystal world of Kethmore, Ambassador Veltar walked through her resonance gardens. The gardens were beautiful, with crystal trees that sang in the wind and crystal flowers that glowed with inner light. She stopped beside her favorite crystal formation and touched it gently. The crystal made a sound like a bell, and all the Other crystals around it answered with their own music. This was peace. This was safety. This was how life should be. Her aide, a younger crystal being named Telway, approached with careful steps. The crystals on his body were still small and clear, showing his young age. Ambassador, the Council wants to know your final decision about the humans. They are not ready, Veltar said, her crystals making a sad song. Maybe in a few hundred years, when they have grown stronger and wiser. But now, they would only get hurt trying to keep up with real spacefaring species. Telway's crystals chimed with curiosity. What makes them so weak? Veltar thought about this. They have no natural defenses. Look at us. Our crystal bodies protect us from harm. Look at the hive. Their shell skin makes them almost impossible to hurt. Look at the Vorthak. They can change their shape to avoid danger. But humans, they are just soft meat and soft skin. And their world? From what I have read, it is a simple place. Not too hot, not too cold. Plenty of water and food. No real challenges. That is why they stayed weak. They never needed to become strong. Veltar did not know that she was completely wrong about Earth. She had read the reports that humans had given to the Federation, but those reports only talked about the nice parts. They mentioned the oceans and forests and mountains, but they did not talk about hurricanes and earthquakes and predators. The humans had thought it would be better to make their world sound peaceful and safe. On a Federation trade station, Captain Taesung was loading supplies onto his human freighter ship. He was a big man with strong arms and a loud laugh. He had been flying spaceships for 10 years now, ever since humans learned how to build them. Bo-Ra, his maintenance worker, was outside the ship doing repairs. She wore a spacesuit and floated in the empty space between the station and the ship. To her, this was normal work. She had grown up near the ocean on Earth and had always been comfortable in dangerous places. A group of alien dock workers watched her with amazement. They belonged to a species called the Frill, who looked like large salamanders with bright colors. They were good workers, but they were very careful about safety. Look at her, one of them said to the others. She is floating in open space with just that thin suit. Is she not afraid? Humans are crazy, said another. They do dangerous things like it is nothing. Or maybe they are too stupid to understand the danger, said a third. If Bo-Ra could have heard them, she would have laughed. Floating in space with a good suit and safety lines felt very safe to her. Much safer than swimming in the ocean back home, where sharks and jellyfish and strong currents could kill you. Much safer than driving a car on a busy road where one mistake could be your last. Much safer than even walking through a forest, where bears and snakes and poisonous plants waited for careless people. But the aliens did not understand this. Their worlds were safe. The Frill planet had no large predators. The most dangerous animal was something like a rabbit that might bite your finger if you bothered it. They had never developed the human ability to judge real danger from fake danger. Captain Taesung came out to check on Bo-Ra's work. He looked at the alien dock workers and waved in a friendly way. They waved back, but he could tell they thought he and Bo-Ra were crazy. How long until repairs are done? He asked Bo-Ra through the radio. Maybe 2 hours, she replied. The power coupling is more damaged than I thought. No problem. Take your time and be safe. The aliens heard this and were confused. If humans were so reckless, why was the captain telling his worker to be safe? They did not understand that humans had learned to be very careful about real dangers while ignoring fake ones. Back on the hive ship, Commander Nixal was getting reports from his scouts. They had been watching human ships and human colonies for months now. Sir, said one of the scouts, the humans do strange things. What kind of strange things? They send their ships through dangerous areas of space, places with radiation and asteroids and gravity storms. But they do it easily, like it is not scary at all. Maybe their ships are better than ours? No, sir. Their ships are simpler and older, but somehow they can go places that we would never try. Nixal's mandibles clicked with annoyance. This did not make sense. How could such weak creatures be so comfortable with danger? And sir, the scout continued, they do something even stranger on their ships. What? They exercise. Every day they lift heavy things and run on machines and fight with each other in practice, for hours and hours. Why would they do that? We do not know, sir. When we asked them, they said it was to stay in shape. But they are already so weak. How would moving heavy things make them stronger? This was another thing the aliens could not understand. Their bodies were naturally strong or naturally protected. The idea that strength could be built through hard work was completely foreign to them. On their worlds, you were born with the abilities you needed or you died. There was no middle ground of getting stronger through effort. On Kethmore, Veltar was having a similar conversation with her aide. The humans say they enjoy something called extreme sports on Creo, Telway reported. They jump from high places with only a cloth to slow them down. They ride down mountains on small boards. They swim in rough water for fun. That makes no sense, Veltar said, her crystals making a confused sound. Why would anyone choose to do dangerous things? Maybe their brains are damaged? That must be it. No intelligent species would seek out danger unless something was wrong with them. What none of the aliens understood was that to humans, the things they called extreme sports were not that dangerous. Compared to the everyday dangers of living on Earth, jumping out of an airplane with a parachute was actually pretty safe. The parachute almost always worked. The landing zones were chosen carefully. There were backup plans for everything. But swimming in Earth's oceans? That was really dangerous. Hiking in Earth's wilderness? Also really dangerous. Even walking down a city street at night could be more dangerous than most extreme sports. The aliens looked at humans and saw soft, weak, stupid creatures who did not understand danger, but they were wrong. Humans understood danger better than any species in the galaxy. They had been living with real, deadly, unpredictable danger for millions of years. Soon, the aliens would learn this lesson. But first, they would need to understand what a shark was. Dr. Yunho stood in his laboratory on the human research ship, Challenger. The lab was full of computers and screens showing information about different planets. Charts and graphs covered the walls, all showing data about alien worlds and alien life forms. He had been studying this information for months, trying to understand why the aliens thought humans were so weak. The door opened and Hyunwoo walked in, looking tired and frustrated. Behind him came Jimin, who looked angry. They had just come from another meeting with alien officials and it had not gone well. They still do not believe us, Hyunwoo said, sitting down in a chair. Every time we try to explain about Earth, they just smile and nod like we are children making up stories. It is worse than that, Jimin said. Today, Ambassador Veltar suggested that maybe humans should start with a junior membership in the Federation. Like we are not ready for the real thing. Dr. Yunho shook his head. They do not understand because they cannot understand. Look at this. He pointed to a big screen that showed numbers and charts. These are the predator-to-prey ratios for all the Federation worlds. Hyunwoo looked at the screen, but the numbers meant nothing to him. What does that mean? It means how many hunters there are compared to how many things they hunt, Dr. Yunho explained. On most Federation worlds, there is one predator for every 50 to 200 prey animals. That means most animals are safe most of the time. And on Earth in the oceans there is one predator for every 5 prey animals. On land it is one predator for every 12 prey animals. That means on Earth if you are not a hunter, you are probably going to be hunted. Dongjun, Dr. Yunho's young research assistant, looked up from his computer. And that is just the animals, he said. Look at this climate data. He put new information on the screen. Federation worlds have stable weather. Their seasons change slowly and predictably. The temperature stays about the same for thousands of years. Earth's climate changes every few thousand years, Dr. Yunho continued. Sometimes every few hundred years, sometimes faster than that. Ice ages, warm periods, droughts, floods. Our planet cannot make up its mind what it wants to be. Captain Inho had been listening from the doorway. He was an older man who had visited many alien worlds during his long career as a spaceship captain. I have been to 17 Federation worlds, he said, walking into the room. The most dangerous thing on most of them is an earthquake that gives you days or weeks of warning before it happens. What do you mean? Hyunwoo asked. Their ground shakes, but slowly, Captain In-ho explained. Their storms build up over weeks and move in straight lines so you can see them coming. Their volcanoes smoke for years before they explode, giving everyone time to move away. Earth is not like that, Jimin said quietly. No, Captain In-ho agreed. Earth's tornadoes appear in minutes and move in crazy directions. Earth's tsunamis come with almost no warning. Earth's volcanoes can explode without any warning at all, covering half a continent in ash. Dr. Yoon-ho pulled up more data on his screens. But it is not just the frequency of dangerous things. It is the nature of them. Look at this. He showed them videos from alien worlds. This is a typical predator from Veltar's world. The video showed a small crystal-eating bug. It moved slowly and only ate when it was hungry. When it found crystals, it ate just enough to survive and then went to sleep for several days. Now look at this, Dr. Yoon-ho said, changing the video. This is a typical predator from Nixal's world. The new video showed something like a giant ant. It was hunting other insects, but it did so very carefully. It stalked its prey, waited for the right moment, and then attacked quickly and efficiently. When it caught something, it ate it completely, and then returned to its hive. It did not waste energy on unnecessary killing. Do you see the pattern? Dr. Yoon-ho asked. They only kill what they need, Hyunwoo said. Exactly. Their predators are logical. They hunt for food when they are hungry. They hunt for territory when they need space. They hunt for mates during mating season. But when they are not hungry, not territorial, and not looking for mates, they leave other animals alone. Earth predators are different, Jimin said. She had studied alien life forms, but she had also studied Earth life forms. Very different, Dr. Yoon-ho agreed. Dongjun, show them the shark video. Dongjun pressed some buttons and a new video appeared on the screen. It showed a great white shark swimming through blue water. The shark was huge with rows of sharp teeth and cold black eyes. This, Dr. Yoon-ho said, is why the aliens do not understand us. This creature has been essentially unchanged for 400 million years. It has survived 5 mass extinctions. It is a perfect killing machine. But lots of worlds have big predators, Hyunwoo pointed out. Watch what it does, Dr. Yoon-ho said. The video showed the shark attacking different things. It bit a metal cage that had no food in it. It attacked a small boat, even though boats were not edible. It bit an underwater camera that was just sitting there, doing nothing threatening. It attacks things that are not food, Captain In-ho observed. It attacks things that are not threats, Jimin added. It attacks things that are not even alive, Dongjun said. Exactly, Dr. Yoon-ho said. A shark does not kill because it is hungry. It does not kill because it is threatened. It kills because something moved, and moving things might need to be killed. Its brain is simple. If something moves and is not obviously another shark, bite it and see what happens. But that is not logical, Hyunwoo said. No, it is not logical at all. And that is the point. Dr. Yoon-ho looked at all of them seriously. Every other species in the Federation comes from worlds where dangerous things are logical. Their predators can be understood, predicted, reasoned with, or avoided through intelligence. But Earth's predators cannot be reasoned with, Jimin said, understanding. Worse than that, Dr. Yoon-ho said. Earth's dangers often get more dangerous when you try to be logical about them. A shark will attack you more if you splash around, trying to swim away logically. A tornado will change direction just when you think you have figured out where it is going. A disease will mutate just when you think you have found a cure. Captain In-ho sat down heavily. That is why they think we are stupid. When they see us doing something dangerous, they think we do not understand the risk. But we understand risk better than they do, Dr. Yoon-ho said. We have spent millions of years learning to judge which risks are real and which are not. Which dangers can be prepared for and which ones just have to be survived. And that is why we seem reckless to them, Jimin said. What looks like crazy dangerous behavior to them is actually just Tuesday to us. Dongjun pulled up more videos. Look at this. This is how humans interact with sharks. The video showed humans in metal cages, swimming near great white sharks. The sharks swam around the cages, occasionally bumping them or biting them, but the humans inside seemed calm and even excited. "Now this," Dongjun said, changing the video. "This is human surfing." The new video showed people riding on boards on top of ocean waves. Some of the waves were huge, bigger than buildings, and in some parts of the video, you could see dark shapes in the water below the surfers. "Are those sharks?" Hyunwoo asked. "Yes," Dr. Yoonho said. "Humans regularly enter the territory of apex predators for recreation, because compared to some of the things that live on land, sharks are manageable." "What do you mean?" Captain In-ho asked. Dr. Yoonho smiled, but it was not a happy smile. "Sharks are not even our most dangerous predator. They are just the most famous one. We have land predators that hunt in packs using complex strategies and teamwork. We have tiny predators that you cannot see, that get inside your body and kill you from within. We have plant predators that look beautiful, but kill you if you touch them." "Plants that are predators?" Dongjun asked. "Plants that poison, plants that strangle, plants that eat meat," Dr. Yoonho listed. "And that is not even counting the really dangerous stuff." "What is more dangerous than sharks?" Hyunwoo asked. "Weather," Jimin said before Dr. Yoonho could answer. "Storms that can destroy entire cities, floods that can reshape continents, droughts that can turn forests into deserts. Diseases," Captain In-ho added. "Plagues that can kill half the population of the planet. Other humans," Dr. Yoonho said quietly. "Earth's most dangerous predator is ourselves." They sat in silence for a moment, thinking about this. "So when the aliens see us swimming with sharks or jumping out of airplanes, or exploring dangerous places," Hyunwoo said slowly, "they think we are too stupid to understand the danger. But actually, we have calculated the risk and decided it is acceptable," Jimin said. "Because compared to just living on Earth normally, those things are not that dangerous," Dr. Yoonho concluded. "The aliens are going to learn this eventually," Captain In-ho said. "Something is going to happen that their garden world experience cannot handle. And then they will understand," Dr. Yoonho said, "what it really means to come from a death world." The Cultural Exchange Center on Harmony Station was full of different species showing off their homeworlds. Large screens showed beautiful pictures and videos from dozens of planets across the galaxy. Aliens walked around, looking at each other's displays and talking in many different languages. Dr. Yoonho stood near the human display, watching the aliens react to pictures of Earth. So Young, the human cultural attaché, had set up a beautiful presentation showing Earth's mountains, forests, and cities. But Dr. Yoonho noticed that most aliens seemed bored by it. "Your world looks very ordinary," said a tall alien with purple skin and 4 arms. "We have seen many worlds like this." "Yes," agreed another alien that looked like a walking flower. "Pretty, but nothing special. Where are your great crystal formations, your living cities, your floating islands?" So Young tried to explain that Earth's beauty was in its diversity, but the aliens were already walking away. They were more interested in displays that showed truly alien wonders, cities made of living coral, forests that sang in harmony, oceans that floated in the sky. Ambassador Veltar approached the human display with several other important aliens. Her crystal body made soft music as she moved. "This is pleasant," she said, looking at a video of Earth's ocean. "Very blue, very calm. But why do you show us empty water? Where are your underwater cities, your great monuments?" "The ocean is not empty," Dr. Yoonho said quietly. Veltar's crystals chimed with mild interest. "Oh? What lives in it?" Dr. Yoonho looked at So Young. "Show them a great white shark." So Young pressed some buttons and the peaceful ocean scene changed. Now a massive shark filled the screen, gliding through the blue water with slow, powerful movements. Its black eyes seemed to look right at the aliens watching. The aliens made polite sounds of interest, but Dr. Yoonho could tell they were not impressed. Commander Nixal clicked his mandibles dismissively. "Large aquatic predator. We have similar creatures on many worlds." "Do you?" Dr. Yoonho asked. "So Young, show them how it hunts." The screen changed to show the shark hunting, but this was not like the alien predators they were used to. The shark did not stalk carefully or wait for the perfect moment. Instead, it attacked everything that moved. A school of fish, the shark bit several, ate one, and let the others float away dead. A sea turtle, the shark bit it, realized it was not tasty and left it to die. A piece of floating wood, the shark bit it, shook it apart, and moved on. Inefficient, Commander Nixall said. Wasteful. A proper predator does not kill unnecessarily. That is exactly my point, Dr. Yunho said. Your predators are logical. They hunt when they need food. They stop when they are full. They can be predicted, avoided, understood. Ambassador Veltar's crystals sang with confusion. And this creature cannot be? This creature, Dr. Yunho said, has remained essentially unchanged for 400 million years. It survived 5 mass extinction events. It kills not because it is hungry, not because it is threatened, not because it needs territory. It kills because killing is what it does. The screen showed more shark behavior. A shark attacking a metal cage full of researchers. A shark biting an underwater camera. A shark ramming a small boat over and over again, even though the boat was clearly not food. But that makes no sense, said the flower-like alien. Why waste energy attacking things that are not food? Because sense has nothing to do with it, Dr. Yunho explained. Your predators think. They make decisions. They weigh costs and benefits. A shark does not think in any way you would recognize. It sees movement, it attacks. It smells blood, it attacks. It feels vibrations, it attacks. Commander Nixall made an annoyed clicking sound. Then it should be easy to avoid. Simply do not move, do not bleed, do not make vibrations. In the ocean? Dr. Yunho asked. How do you swim without moving? How do you breathe without making bubbles? How do you live without having a heartbeat? The aliens looked at each other uncertainly. This was not making sense to them. Show them humans with sharks, Dr. Yunho said to So Young. The screen changed, again. Now it showed humans in metal cages underwater with great white sharks swimming all around them. The sharks bumped the cages, bit them, tried to get inside, but the humans seemed calm. Some were even taking pictures. Are they trapped? Asked a small furry alien. No, Dr. Yunho said. They chose to be there. This is what humans call recreation, fun, entertainment. The aliens stared at the screen in shock. The idea that anyone would voluntarily put themselves near such a dangerous creature was incomprehensible to them. But why? Veltar asked, her crystals making sounds of distress. Because, Dr. Yunho said, this is not the most dangerous thing we deal with on Earth. The screen changed to show humans surfing. Giant waves, bigger than buildings, and small human figures riding on top of them on tiny boards. In some shots, dark shadows could be seen moving in the water below. Those are sharks too, are not they? Asked Commander Nixall. Yes, and the humans know it. They surf in shark-infested waters as a matter of course, because the wave is more likely to kill them than the shark is. The wave? The flower alien sounded confused. A big wave can hold you underwater until you drown. It can smash you against rocks. It can break your bones and leave you helpless in the water. Compared to that, sharks are manageable. Dr. Yunho looked around at all the alien faces staring at him. Do you want to know what humans consider really dangerous? They nodded, not trusting themselves to speak. Other humans, Dr. Yunho said simply. Earth's apex predator is not the shark. It is us. We are the most dangerous thing on our planet, and we know it. We live with that knowledge every day. The screen showed human cities, human wars, human achievements, and human disasters. The aliens watched in growing amazement as they realized that humans had not only survived on a world full of sharks and killer waves and unpredictable disasters, but had thrived there, had become the dominant species, had eventually learned to build spaceships and reach for the stars. Your species, Veltar said slowly, learned to be intelligent while surrounded by things that wanted to kill you. Not just surrounded by them, Dr. Yunho corrected. Swimming with them, living with them, competing with them. We did not evolve in safety and then learn to deal with danger. We evolved in danger and learned to call it normal. Commander Nixal's compound eyes were fixed on the screen, which was now showing humans doing various extreme sports, skydiving, mountain climbing, deep-sea diving, all activities that looked insanely dangerous to the aliens. When you said, "Humans were reckless," Dr. Yunho continued, "you were wrong. We are the opposite of reckless. We are the most careful species you will ever meet. We calculate risks constantly, automatically, without even thinking about it." "But you do such dangerous things," protested the furry alien. "No," Dr. Yunho said firmly. "We do things that look dangerous to you because your definition of dangerous is different from ours. When a human jumps out of an airplane, they are wearing a parachute that has been checked multiple times, jumping over a landing area that has been carefully chosen, with backup parachutes and emergency procedures and rescue teams standing by." "That still sounds dangerous," Veltar said. "Less dangerous than driving to the airport," Dr. Yunho replied. "Much less dangerous than swimming in the ocean. Far less dangerous than walking through a forest at night. Compared to the everyday risks of living on Earth, jumping out of an airplane is actually quite safe." The aliens were quiet for a long moment, trying to process this information. "So when we see humans doing dangerous things in space," Commander Nixal said slowly, "they are not being reckless. They are being careful by their standards," Dr. Yunho agreed. "A human pilot who flies through an asteroid field has calculated that it is safer than many things they did regularly back on Earth. And when we see humans working in dangerous conditions without seeming afraid," Veltar added, "it is not because they do not understand the danger. It is because they have lived with much worse dangers their entire lives," Dr. Yunho said. "You think we are weak because we look soft and fragile, but we are not weak. We are survivors. We are the products of millions of years of surviving on a world that tried to kill us in every way possible." "A death world," said the flower alien quietly. "Yes," Dr. Yunho said. "A death world. And that is why, when something truly dangerous happens and something unpredictable and deadly and unfair, you want humans on your side. Because we have spent our entire evolutionary history learning how to survive exactly that kind of situation." The cultural exchange continued, but now the aliens looked at the human display very differently. They were no longer seeing a boring, ordinary world. They were seeing a place where every day was a battle for survival, and somehow the soft, weak-looking humans had not only survived, but conquered it completely, and they were beginning to understand that maybe, just maybe, they had seriously underestimated what humans were capable of. The emergency alarm started screaming at 0347 station time. Red lights flashed in every corridor of Harmony Station as the automated voice repeated the same message over and over. "All personnel to emergency stations. This is not a drill. All personnel to emergency stations." Hyunwoo rolled out of his bed in the human quarters and grabbed his emergency suit. Through his small window, he could see something was very wrong. The stars were moving when they should have been still. The station was spinning, and that was not supposed to happen. In the command center, chaos ruled. Aliens from dozens of species were running around, shouting orders in their own languages, trying to figure out what had gone wrong. The station's artificial gravity kept flickering on and off, making everyone float and then crash down again. "Report," demanded Station Commander Zeth Cole, a massive alien with rock-like skin. His deep voice cut through the noise. "Solar flare hit us 20 minutes ago," reported a technician with 6 arms and blue skin. "Fried most of our main computers. But that is not the worst part." "What is the worst part?" "The computer virus in our backup systems just activated. It was waiting for the main computers to go down. And, sir, the navigation system is completely dead. We are drifting toward the Nexus debris field." Commander Zeth Cole's rock-like face somehow managed to look pale. The Nexus debris field was a graveyard of old spaceships and asteroids, all spinning and crashing into each other in unpredictable patterns. If Harmony Station hit that field, everyone on board would die. How long do we have? Maybe 6 hours. Before we hit the outer edge. After that, the technician made a gesture that needed no translation. Options? The aliens looked at each other helplessly. This was not a problem they knew how to solve. Solar flares were predictable. You got warnings days in advance. Computer viruses were logical. They followed patterns that could be analyzed and countered. Navigation failures had backup systems. But this was all three things at once, happening in ways that made no sense. The solar flare had been much stronger than predicted. The computer virus was using randomized code that changed every few minutes. The navigation backups had failed in combinations that should have been impossible. "Sir," said another technician, "the human emergency coordinator is here." Minsu walked into the command center wearing his emergency suit and carrying a toolkit. He was a middle-aged man with calm eyes and steady hands. He had been Earth's top disaster response expert before joining the Federation, and he had seen every kind of crisis imaginable. "What is the situation?" he asked in simple, clear words. Commander Zethkol quickly explained the problems. Solar flare, computer virus, navigation failure, debris field, 6 hours to live. Minsu listened without interrupting, nodding occasionally. "Need my team," Minsu said when the commander finished. "Your team?" "The other humans on the station. We are going to need all of them." "But what can humans do that we cannot?" asked Commander Zethkol. "This requires technical expertise in multiple fields." "No," Minsu said calmly. "This requires experience with situations where everything goes wrong at the same time." Within minutes, every human on the station had reported to the command center. There were only 12 of them, but they moved with a confidence that surprised the aliens. While the aliens were still trying to understand how 3 separate systems could fail simultaneously, the humans were already making plans. "Bora," Minsu said to the maintenance worker, "take 4 of the frill technicians and get to the navigation array. Do not try to fix it, just find out which parts are still working. Captain Inho, take 2 teams and start manually checking the life support systems. Forget the computer readings. I want eyes on every air recycler and water filter. Dr. Yunho, I need you to work with their computer experts, not to fight the virus, to predict what it will do next." The aliens watched in confusion as the humans split up and started working. Their approach made no sense. Instead of trying to fix the broken systems, they seemed to be accepting that the systems were broken. "Should we not focus all our efforts on restoring the navigation?" asked Commander Zethkol. "No," Minsu replied. "The navigation is dead. The virus made sure of that, so we work around it." "Work around it how?" "We turn the station into a ship." This made no sense to any of the aliens. Harmony Station was not designed to be steered. It was designed to stay in one place. It had no engines, no steering systems, no way to change course. But Minsu was already explaining his plan to Captain Inho. "The station has docking thrusters for fine positioning. If we fire them in sequence, we can create rotation. If we can control the rotation, we can change our direction slightly." "Slightly might not be enough," Captain Inho pointed out. "Then we make our own luck," Minsu said with a grin that would have looked crazy to anyone who did not know humans. The next few hours were like nothing the aliens had ever experienced. The humans did not try to restore order to the chaos. Instead, they embraced the chaos and tried to ride it like a wave. Bora reported that the navigation array was completely fried, but the manual backup controls were still working. Captain Inho found that the life support systems were failing in a pattern, not randomly, but in a sequence that could be predicted. Dr. Yunho discovered that the computer virus was not actually trying to destroy everything. It was trying to force the station to fly toward a specific location. "The virus is not random," Dr. Yunho explained to Minsu. "It is steering us. Someone wanted Harmony Station to end up in that debris field." "Sabotage? Maybe. Or maybe someone wanted to make it look like an accident." Minsu thought about this for a moment. "Can you make the virus work for us instead of against us?" "What do you mean?" "If it is steering us toward the debris field, can you make it steer us past the debris field?" Dr. Yunho's eyes lit up. That might work. But it would mean deliberately infecting more of our systems. Do it. Do. Commander Zethkol overheard this conversation and was horrified. You want to spread the virus? That is insane. No, Minsu said patiently. That is surfing. What? When a big wave is coming at you, you do not try to stop it. You cannot stop it. But you can ride it. You can use its power to go where you want to go instead of where it wants to take you. The aliens still did not understand, but they were running out of time. The station was getting closer to the debris field, and their conventional solutions were not working. So they watched as the humans did impossible things. Bora and her team manually fired the docking thrusters in patterns that created controlled spins. Captain Inho's team shut down life support systems deliberately, creating failures that balanced out the failures caused by the virus. Dr. Yunho fed the virus false information, tricking it into steering the station in a slightly different direction. This is like flying a broken airplane through a hurricane while blindfolded, muttered one of the alien technicians. Yes, agreed Dongjun, who was helping Dr. Yunho. Humans do that sometimes too. Do what? Fly broken airplanes through hurricanes, usually to rescue people. The alien stared at him in disbelief. 2 hours before they would have hit the debris field, something amazing happened. The station's course changed. Not much, just a few degrees, but enough. They would pass by the edge of the debris field instead of flying straight into it, but they were not safe yet. The edge of the debris field was still dangerous, full of fast-moving rocks and metal pieces. The station's shields were damaged and might not protect them. We need to thread the needle, Minsu announced. Find a path through the debris that avoids the biggest pieces. That is impossible, said Commander Zethkol. The debris is moving randomly. We cannot predict where it will be. You are right, Minsu agreed. We cannot predict it, but we can react to it. For the next hour, humans and aliens worked together in a way that had never happened before. The humans provided the quick thinking and adaptability that came from millions of years of surviving unpredictable dangers. The aliens provided the technical knowledge and specialized skills that came from their advanced civilizations. Bora manually controlled the thrusters, firing them in real time as debris approached. Captain Inho coordinated with alien engineers to reroute power around damaged systems. Dr. Yunho and the computer experts played a deadly game with the virus, using its own programming to help navigate through the chaos. And Minsu stood in the center of it all, making decisions with incomplete information, trusting his instincts when logic was not enough, keeping everyone focused on the goal instead of the problems. When Harmony Station finally cleared the debris field and reached safe space, the command center was completely quiet. Aliens and humans alike stood there, hardly believing they had survived. Commander Zethkol was the first to speak. How? He asked simply. Experience, Minsu replied. Humans have been dealing with situations like this our entire evolution. When everything goes wrong at once, when there is no time to think, when the logical solutions do not work, that is when we are at our best. Ambassador Veltar approached Hyunwoo, her crystals making a sound he had never heard before, respectful, almost reverent. We owe you an apology, she said. We thought your species was weak. You were wrong, agreed Commander Nixal, his mandibles clicking in what Hyunwoo now recognized as respect. We have been thinking.